So let's get on the conversation around trade facilitation and the ease of doing business. And of course, there are always some knotty issues sometimes to clear up in that space. Let's bring to the conversation today's show, Muda Yusuf, who is the head or the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce Industry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming. Now, what's the latest
Pleasure.
all around this issue around containerized cargo, whether it has to be palletized, sometimes gets into my head to just understand all this terminology. So, what's the complaint about this new import guideline? That's what it means in simple terms. So, what is it about?
I think the starting point is to commend the government for the new tempo, the new energies to now drive the ease of doing business. And one major area where we often have issues as far as ease of doing business is concerned is the area of trade facilitation. And that has to do with import and export processes. And there are a lot of knotty issues to crack. And some of these things can be very difficult to crack. But the good thing is now that we have the political will to crack these knotty issues. Now, the latest that we have, which we have some challenge with, is the guideline on palletization of cargo. There was a circular issued by the Federal Ministry of Finance that all containerized cargoes must be palletized. What that means is that they must be put in pallets. And any shipping company that comes in with a containerized cargo that is not palletized, we have to take back the cargo. That's a very big issue.
To the port of origin.
To the port of origin. Now, sometimes you have policies that have not such fantastic quality because there is no sufficient consultation. This directive has very serious implications for business. At a time when we are talking about ease of doing business, this will further complicate the business conditions for investors.
Very key question. Why would any importer or shipping company bring in palletized cargoes into Nigeria, container goods? Why would they do that? Is that international best practices?
Yes. Now, the thing is that it depends on the kind of cargo. It depends, because it is not all cargo that you can palletize. For instance, the importers of tires, they were the first to even contact me on this policy.
Who are the members of the chamber?
Yes, that they just received a new directive or information from the shipping company that they cannot bring in any cargo that is not container cargo that is not palletized. But they say, how do you palletize tires? We are talking of sometimes truck tires. How do you put that into pallets? Then you have those who are in chemical industry, chemical products, chemical raw materials. Some of these raw materials come in drums. How do you palletize that? Then you have things like powdered milk. You have plastic raw materials. Many of these are in bags, and you just tag them one over the other. So when we make policies, we should understand the environment in which we are making policies for.
Who issued this latest directive?
The directive came from Federal Ministry of Finance. You know, and that is another issue in the policy-making process for the economy. Issue that has to do with trade policies. The Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment must have a very big say in it. Because the ministry is closer to the private sector. They are closer to the business environment. So they know the ramifications, the implications, the consequences, both for the economy and for business of some of these policies. Unfortunately, a lot of trade policy issues are being managed by the Federal Ministry of Finance. That is why you have some of these gaps in policy. But the good news is that we have escalated this to the appropriate authorities, and I'm getting a feedback that this will be reviewed. But going forward, I think it is important to underscore the importance of communication and consultation. Because if you palletize cargo first, apart from the risk of damage to some cargo that are not amenable to palletization, there is the issue of cost. If you palletize a cargo that ordinarily should not palletize, it will increase your cost of freight. What you need a container for, you may need 3 containers for that.
How do we bring the customs into this? So the customs go ahead and seize them, or what happens?
No, well, the directive is clear that once it's not palletized, it has to go back. That is the directive from the Federal Ministry of Finance. So it's going to cause a whole lot of problems for business. we're already, engaging the authorities on this, and I'm hoping that something will be done. Another critical element when it comes to trade facilitation is valuation queries. It's a major problem that the business community is facing. You import a good, there's a value which can be verified from the exporter. You already have your PA issued by the customs headquarters. The customs headquarters also have a valuation unit. You get to the ports, they tell you that the value is not correct. And they begin to review the value, put you under all sorts of pressures and all of that. If there is a document from the customs headquarters that says this is the duty that you have to pay, I think that kind of document should be respected across the entire chain of the customs service.
Because that particular document has gone through the banks and every other process.
Yes, yes,
so you went through the customs
yes, long room. The long room. And once the PA has been issued, those who are in charge of PA are also experts in valuation. They will have checked your invoice unless there is a discrepancy as far as quantity is concerned. If the importer did not declare the right kind of quantity, of course, the importer should be sanctioned. But if there is a value which has been documented in the PA issued by the customs headquarters, why will you get to the customs and the some units in the customs will be querying what was issued by the headquarters?
Within the same Nigerian customs
service
structure.
Yes, exactly.
So you get a clearance from the headquarters,
yes,
or you get to the one in Lagos,
the ports,
whether
yes,
the one in Ikeja or the one
raise
in
all sorts of
whatever.
issues.
And they raise issues.
Exactly.
And you got to go back, and this take days.
Take days. You have to incur demurrage. You have to pay interest on the cost of funds that you have used to finance the import. And it doesn't even stop there. Sometimes, if you are cleared by the valuation unit at the ports, even at the exit gate, queries can be issued. The man at the gate will say, no, I want to see the container all over again.
Uh-oh.
You have not paid the right kind of duty. You know,
despite you have a bunch of papers that have been signed
that have been signed
by the same
to make matters worse. Sometimes when you get out of the port,